Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. First off, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's birthday was on October the 7th. This was a pioneer, one of the greatest men to ever teach or reform men from one condition to a positive living standard and example in which any man, in particular black men, could pattern themselves after and follow a direction to mental, spiritual, and physical freedom within America. The works that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has done in America cannot be compared to by none, by any. He raised up Malcolm X. He raised up Muhammad Ali. He raised up Brother Farrakhan. He raised up Jeremiah X. He raised up so many scholars and teachers. Waradeem Muhammad. The black psychologist, Naeem Akbar. Raised up so many great men and women, Sister Ava Muhammad, under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to where it strengthened the mind, I guess I'd say, gave you a sense of purpose and being, gave you the fact that you were not the Negroes that you were trying to be created into by a system of white supremacy, to give you a stereotype or a character role in which you should play throughout this country called America if you want to be accepted in America. A stereotype or black people behave this way, such and such, which isn't true. When you start learning and finding out knowledge of self and who you are, you read the message to the black man, and you understand how things were purposely set up to keep you in a certain or boxed in. But here comes the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with a key to open those locks, free your mind, so you can build and create something better here on earth, not waiting till after you die to get your pie in the sky, but while you got feet on sound ground, you can produce whatever thoughts that your mind travels into the universe and comes back and creates for you in real time. I just wanted to make that note. Now, if anyone watched the debate, which was this past Sunday, between the two presidential candidates, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, it just confirms what myself and Brother Low-Key talked about that past Thursday when we were talking about symbolism in the movies and throughout, and there's a lot of symbolism dealing with melanin, black people in movies. You might see it as a dark cloud or some form of ink or some type of force or energy, all pertaining to melanin. And also the layout for Washington, D.C., based on symbolism, when you have the obelisk and other monuments that are given credence or given honor to ancient Egypt, in which our ancestors or forefathers built. Now, the symbolism that was in the debate Sunday, if you caught it, if you didn't, well, let me pull it out for you so we can all be on the same page with this thing called symbolism. You notice Hillary Clinton stated that a mother brought her baby, a couple adopted a baby from Africa, brought the baby to America. The baby's been in America for 10 years. This is the only country the baby has ever known. And the baby asked his mother, will Donald Trump send me back to Ethiopia? Symbolism. Because one, if you look at the story, she stated that this was the only country he's ever known. He doesn't remember going back to Ethiopia, coming from Ethiopia, and if his adopted parents never said anything, he never know because he was a baby at the time. So he doesn't have any remembrance of Africa, but he's worried that he might get sent back to Africa with certain immigration policies. That's a way of slipping in conversing about the plight of blacks in America. I mean, they're clever with it. Black people are been in America for over 400 years. This is the only country you ever known. When the first slaves who came to America, 1555, on a slave ship called Jesus by John Hardy Hawkins, when that came into play, when the men, the slave owners or the first whites would go into the black woman, have that child, and raise that child as their own, and teach their child nothing about where they came from, but about shaping their minds to be prepared for this new America that they were presently in. Meaning that the men would rape the women, the black women, then the white woman would raise that baby up as if that child was her own. And she started teaching the child English, doctrines that they needed that child to know to make it a better helper for their cause. Didn't let the mother pass down the native tongue or the traditional values or the traditional myths or folklore, or the way that they would tell their history, the way that they would pass that history on to the next generation. They stepped in and they formulated the mindset of that child, and then that child passed that mindset on to the next generation and so forth. So that's the baby. That's the baby coming to America from Ethiopia, but doesn't know Ethiopia. Only thing that this child knows is America. Ethiopia had some greats. Haile Selassie, from the tribe of Judah, from from David's lineage in the Bible. The Coptic Christians were your first Christians. The Gnostics. Go read up on the Gnostics and the way the Gnostics view God. The God within, the inner God. But the subliminal message that's being displayed here is black people you talk about black pride, Black Lives Matter, Africa. We just opened up an African American museum in D.C. This is all you know. Stay within the box that we created for you, and we'll make sure that your well-being is well kept. We'll look out for your best interest. You just operate within these parameters. You vote for who we tell you to vote for, and we'll make sure everything is okay for you during your sojourn here in America. But then you have those who say, well, wait a minute, I'm learning and getting back into what my forefathers taught, dealing with metaphysics, dealing with who is the original man, dealing with all the capabilities that the original man can display and do. So I don't want to be in a box any longer. As a matter of fact, I'd like to get out and create my own destiny. And they saying, yeah, well, that's fine. No problem at all. We don't have a problem with that. But we've piled up economic growth and institutions that rely on your behavior to be moved in a particular direction. If you cut and go left where we've been herding you to go right, then it will create an unbalance on an unstable foundation, and that will create problems in the future. And so the black man is saying, well, yeah, but we've been doing this same two-step for over 400 years, and the planet is continuously evolving. And in order for me to be in rhythm with the planet, I have to evolve also. I can't stay stuck in this box that was created for me. I gotta fly out the nest. I gotta venture out. I got to explore. I have to be the creator of my own destiny. I tell you what, why don't you take you and your people and you start filling in and putting yourself in that box, and you all start being or portraying that stereotyped character that you all created for us. Why don't you just start acting it out and create that same stereotype for yourselves while we go free? And the ones who want to stay within that mindset and make excuses for you all to keep the same status quo, moving in the same direction, charting on the same course, then let them remain with you. Let all the coons, you can have the coons. We not saying we selling the coons into slavery, and then you all, once we separate in your coons, and then you turn on them and start whooping them and making them your servants. We're not saying that, because the duty is to teach the uncivilized. with a teaching. But the call goes out to for your help into teaching uncivilized, meaning who lost the knowledge of self and is living a beast life. And now let me explain that. Lost the knowledge of self and is living a beast life. That means that you lost the knowledge that stood you up as a living perpendicular, and now you took on the frequency of your lower nature, and now you're acting out a beast life, meaning you're not magnetized to the universal knowledge in which those currents come down and stand you up and feed you knowledge into your conscious and subconscious mind. You're not knowledgeable, meaning that you are a problem solver, and the fact that you can look at any situation and cause down the solution and actually fix the problem. What that's saying is living a beast life is you acting totally out of your animal instincts. You know, sex, food, and fight. That's on living on a basic level. That's living on a dead level or horizontal level, meaning you only justify your existence on this planet by only wanting and accepting the bare minimum needs to survive. Meaning the only thing that would separate man from beast is that degree of knowledge. And the more knowledge you obtain to study yourself approved, because of the power that's in the knowledge, the further you separate yourselves from the beast of the field. The less knowledge you seek, then you start using terms as my dog, or you start seeing the symbolisms or the mannerisms between man and beast where there's a lack of knowledge. Let's put it like that. So back to the story of the baby. Will Donald Trump send the baby back to Ethiopia? Low blow symbolism, a fear tactic. Black people, you don't respond and act the way we think you should act because you are our herd, and you do what we say, and whatever this corporate entity or government or corporation, whatever they may see fit for a path for you, then you take that path. If you don't vote for Hillary, we'll consider that an insult. If you vote for Donald Trump, be afraid that he might send you back to Africa. That's the gist of the symbolism. But the root behind the symbolism is you were tricked over here in 1555 on a slave ship called Jesus by the slave trader John Hardy Hawkins. Black women was raped, and from that rape, the child that they produced out of that was taught by white people what to do, what to think, what religion, how to speak, or what mindset that child should have. They gave that child a mindset and put fear in that child from birth. Now, this is the only thing that child knows. This is the only history, the only people, and it doesn't know its homeland. It's been cut off, totally destroyed from where it came from, and now we're going to paint a picture of where it came from so horrible that nobody would ever want to return to that place. We're not going to show none of the beauties or none of the advancements. We're just going to show show a narrative that this is the most horrible place on the planet. So you would never want to return or go back. And then we'll threaten you with the thought of going back if you don't act right. That's what that's about. We would threaten you with the thought of returning back to a homeland that we've deemed unsafe, warlords war going on. That'll be the worst place. Matter of fact, you all should thank us from getting you out of there and bringing you to America, because we're acting out in the end and out actuality, we did you a favor. But since we control your thinking, your thought process, and what your mind perceives, then we know that you're not going to want to have anything to do with Mother Africa. It's all about the narrative that was created for you to mentally slave you. The game. So hopefully, we're working to put ourselves in a position to understand that we create our own reality from knowledge of the past and the present to shape our future. Y'all stay tuned in to Verbal Pick Radio show for everyday people. We are who we are, like they are who we thought they were. Verbal Pick Radio. Your boy Cole Black, aka Vince Cole Muhammad. Check out the book Consequence. Check out Verbal Pick on the YouTube. And we're out.